All Dryfire gadgets suck. Don't waste your time. Find out why in this video. Hey, Caleb here, the founder of Patriot Training Center, and today I'm going to talk about the SIRT pistol and other Dryfire gadgets and why I pretty much think they suck. That's not completely true. Maybe I said that just as a clickbait title, but for the most part, I do not recommend spending money on these, except for a very important way that they could make your practice better, and they would be worth you investing in them. So let's talk about it, okay? This is a SIRT pistol. This is a really neat product, actually, very neat design. It's kind of based on a Glock 17 size pistol is kind of what it's based on. I believe that Glock is very protected with their name and their patents and designs and stuff like that, so it's not exact replica, but it's pretty much what it is. And it is a laser. It's got a laser. When I shoot here, you can see that it puts a laser on the wall. So what's really neat about these is it gives you an actual trigger that you can press, and of course it's completely inert. The only thing that this thing can do, it can't fire live bullets. It can only fire these laser shots, as they were. It also comes with a weighted magazine, which is really neat actually, and you can insert the magazine and there's a mag release there. You can't rack the slide or anything like that. Kind of a downside to it, but they're actually a neat little device. So I bought one of these because I thought this would be a great way for me to practice dry fire training, because it gives you a trigger pull with a regular Glock pistol. Normally the trigger is dead the first time that you shoot it, and it won't reset until you rack the slide. So I actually put a lot of work in with one of these when I was first trying to develop my skills. And I think it actually did me a little more harm than good. And here's the reason why, and kind of the reason why I'm against the laser type pistol setups for dry fire training. And that includes the little dry fire laser cartridges that you can buy off of Amazon or any of these stores that you would put into your carry gun, your actual pistol, and no other ammo in the gun, and do your dry fire with that. And when you shoot, when you drop the hammer, you drop the striker, it hits the little laser cartridge and it shoots a little laser beam out from there. Maybe like you or most people, I think, well, that's a really good idea, because then when I'm dry firing, I can see if I'm hitting the target, right? So that's kind of the reason why these things exist, and people think, oh, that's a good idea, because then I can practice my shooting at my house and I can do dry fire and I can see if I'm hitting the target. So the problem with that is a big mistake that a lot of people make is looking at the target to see if they hit it. When you're shooting your pistol, you should not be looking at the target to see if you're hitting what you're aiming at. You should be looking at your sighting system. So you're looking at a spot on the target that you want to hit, you bring the gun up, you put the sights on the target, and when it's a good enough sight picture for you to hit it, you press the trigger straight to the rear without disturbing the sights, and the bullet's going to go wherever the sights are pointed at the moment that that bullet leaves the barrel. Okay, at the moment of ignition, at the moment that the gun fires. Now the problem with laser trainers, or people do this on live fire all the time too, and they miss low, is when they shoot, they're looking over the sights and dipping the gun to see if they hit the target. And a lot of times the bullet has not left the barrel before they dip the gun, and they'll be hitting low. So this is actually a huge problem in live fire, and also a huge waste of time to see if they hit the target. You should be able to know by the sight picture that you had, as you're watching the sight picture, if it doesn't change as you're pressing the trigger, then you are going to make that hit. So you have to have confidence in the shot. And that's actually a big part of gets into shot calling and kind of some more kind of advanced techniques that you'll learn as you start to shoot more. But basically, looking at the target to see if you hit it is a really, really bad habit to be building. So with the laser pistol, I was doing that a lot because, of course, I wanted to see if I was doing it right. So I'd be looking at the target when I was dry firing, and I was looking for my hits, basically. So that's not what you want to be doing. You want to be paying more attention to your sighting system on your pistol, whether that's a red dot or iron sights like this, to be seeing if you hit the target. And you should be paying attention to what you're doing with your trigger finger if you see your sights moving. You should not be looking at the laser hitting the target. So it builds some really bad habits. So that's why I really don't recommend any of the laser-based systems to do dry fire or anything like that. I will say SIRT does have a different version of this, I believe, that comes with an infrared laser so that you can't see it with your naked eyes, but it can be picked up by cameras. And I believe there's software now and computer programs where it'll record those shots. The camera can see it, but you can't see it as you're shooting. So in that case, you would be focusing on your sights as long as you can't see that laser hitting the target and it's not distracting you. And I think that could probably be a good thing for some people to dry fire if you want something to keep you interested. And that is really what it comes down to with a lot of these gadgets. Any of the dry fire stuff, there's Cool Trainer, there's these dry fire mags here that go into Glocks and they're designed to give you a trigger press. And really, any of the dry fire gadgets out there, guys, if it keeps you interested in training, if it gets you picking up your training gun, and it gets you dry firing and practicing your skills, then it could be a good investment in yourself and in your skills and abilities. But for the most part, you just, if it's a laser-based training system, you got to be really careful that you're not building the bad habits of looking to see if you hit the target. You should be paying more attention to the sights. But if something like this actually gets you practicing more, then I would say that would be the one instance that I would recommend something like that. But I think most of the high-level shooters that I know, most of the guys that are really good shooters, they use the gun that they carry or they compete with, if they're competition shooters or whatever it is. It's just going to give you the best results, I think. You're going to learn how to shoot the gun that you want to shoot better. Okay, so using your actual gun is probably the best way to go for dry fire, I think. And again, you can completely avoid that because you should be paying attention to your sights and dry fire and your trigger presses, and then that's kind of all that you should be paying attention to when you're shooting. But again, if this type of thing makes you practice more, then I say it's all good and you should do it. Or another kind of benefit is something like this, because it cannot actually fire real live ammunition. There's no chance of having a safety mistake, or if you leave this out in your home because you want to practice with it more, maybe that gets you to practice with it more, you're removing friction from the process, then there's no chance that a kid or somebody unauthorized could get access to a gun and hurt themselves. So that could be another benefit too that you'd have to weigh the benefits of. But no matter what, if it's got any of these laser type of things, make sure that you're not building that bad habit of looking at the target to see if you hit it. Make sure that you're paying attention to your sights and your trigger when you're dry firing. Speaking of dry firing, dry fire is the #1 way to increase your skills, and you don't have to waste money on ammo, you don't have to waste time going to the range, and you can do it all from home, and you can easily double your speed and accuracy in 30 days, especially if you're just a beginner. That's why we released the Patriot Training Center 30-day dry fire program. You can check the link in the description. Go there and sign up. It's completely free. It's a complete video course, step by step. It only takes 10 minutes a day. We have both written instructions and video instructions, and it's completely free. Like I said, just check the link in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.